Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to our newest addition to the Be Your Best You podcast. This is going to be our bonus podcast episodes. We have decided to release these in between our regular podcast episodes. So, Becky, tell them what it involves.
Yeah, we found when we stopped recording the podcast episodes, we carried on talking and realised it could still be interesting for you to hear. So we thought we'd press record and make this our Backstage Bonus episode.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoy. Bye!
Bye!
We'd, and then if it's good, it's good. If
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
But I felt it was good. I felt like there was I had just so many stories.
I know, it's hard to sort of like filter them all out and think what's relevant, and I could have, things were popping into my head that you think, oh, I could ramble on about that for a bit, but you want to get it all out, but it's just then whole big no direction.
I know, that's the thing, isn't it? And I didn't even think we'd talk about the kids. I didn't plan to talk about
cool.
Charlie, so that's quite cool.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool when with Auntie Flo.
Oh, Auntie Flo, yeah,
never heard of her.
You.
No, I've not heard of Auntie Flo.
Oh, I thought I told you about Auntie Flo.
Well, she's come in for a reason.
Oh, maybe she was here.
I liked that.
No, I know. I don't know. Oh God, I went off on a tangent before I even started my first story. What is wrong with me? Oh God.
But that's what triggers a lot of your fears, isn't it? And when you were talking, I was like, oh. Yeah, I was thinking, what was it that triggered mine then? And I remembered it was bloody Michael Jackson, Thriller. And I was 2 years old. And my brother brought it home on video because it was like a whole thing, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Like
You're a bit younger.
I was a bit young, but
So you weren't even born when I was 2.
No.
So, yeah, it was a whole thing. And we were all sat round and he put this video on. I just thought, I'm 2 years old. I have no idea. And I was absolutely terrified after that. And I kept thinking Michael Jackson was going to come and get me. Actually, I was quite...
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, my gosh.
But that was definitely my earliest memory of, like, being scared by something like you were with it.
Yeah, I can't remember... I don't remember consciously anyway being scared before that, but I do always remember Mum was very, very careful with what she let us watch.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to watch horror movies anyway. Good. I remember a lot of kids were going, oh, my mum let me watch such and such. And Fred, what's the Friday? No, I was going to say Friday Night Dinner. It's not that, is it?
The other one.
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
That's it.
Yeah, all of those ones. I was like, well, I don't want to watch that anyway.
Sounds horrible.
And yeah, I can still see that bloody popping
what
the
shock
eyeballs.
That was. Poor Auntie Flo.
She was so old.
She's so chill about it, really.
Yeah.
You can just carry on watching it.
It's like, thinking back as an adult, why didn't you turn it off? Why didn't you say, no, girls, this isn't appropriate? I remember, I can still see my sister. She ran down when Mum and Dad came through the door.
Yeah.
She ran down the hallway and jumped up into my dad's arms, and like my dad had hold of her, and my mum was like, what's happened?
Was Auntie Flo allowed round again?
Yeah, bless her. She but she was under strict instructions, I think, to no matter what the girls say, don't let them watch TV past 7 o'clock or whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
But it is what scares you when you're younger, and then like I remember Mum saying, what didn't hurt you when they didn't hurt you when you were alive, they're not going to hurt you when they're dead.
Oh, really?
I sort of clung on to that a little bit, but at the same time I'm thinking, oh no, but I just don't want to see anything.
Yeah.
Like you, every limb under the bedspread, just hide away, which is turning off your light, but I just didn't see it like that.
No.
But that's what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to make yourself small and dark.
Yeah. And I don't know why you think that if you're under the covers, the ghosts aren't going to get you. I know I've conquered my fear when I can now just sleep with my feet outside of the covers.
Take that toe, I don't
just
care.
Like have it all. But no, I know it's
because I was exactly thinking what you were about your you were thinking of when that one came into your room, that nasty energy here. That was coming into my mind, and you were able to tell it. Yeah.
Literally, the only time I swear when I speak to bad stuff, bad energy.
least they know you mean it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how I know I mean it as well.
Yeah.
Like when I'm swearing,
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh, I'm
yeah,
really
I'm
angry.
angry now. I'm angry. Get out of my room. How dare you? Get out. That was, yeah.
But that was a good example for you then, wasn't it? That gave you actually a lot of comfort then, didn't it? Because then you're not scared.
It was like fake. That was actually face your fears now, and I had a real good way of doing that, didn't I?
And that was an aha, wasn't it? When you
massively.
think, okay, so I am in control.
Yeah, and I haven't. I don't think. Have I had another one since then?
No,
I don't think I have. Have I?
No, it's all been good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think there may have been one night where I was like, oh, don't like the feeling of this here, but I got it gone really, really quickly.
Yeah.
I think, but I'm not scared. It's weird, isn't it? Because when it happens, the feeling's horrible because it's so overwhelming. It just, I can't even explain it. It's like this cloud of heaviness and fear gets wiped over you, like completely wiped over, takes over you. And that doesn't feel nice because you're feeling it, like you're literally feeling the fear. So but then you've got that other part that's going, but you're in control, and it's all about control, isn't it? So then rather than just before, I would have been like, oh my God, this fear is horrible, it's horrible, and I can't do anything about it, and I just have to suffer with it until it goes away. And that would mean me ending up being awake all night, honestly. Like I'd probably fall asleep when the light came up, and I don't know why. Like I don't know why that would be, I'm not sure. But then when that happened again, I'm like, right, okay, now I know I've got stuff I can do, you know. And then I call in all the tools, shine the light, do all of that, start swearing. and then you feel like, because you're in control, you're able to do something. You're not all consumed with that. It's fear. That feeling of fear is still there. You're still feeling it, but you're in control and you can do something about it. And then obviously it does just go. Like it works. It goes away. Yeah,
it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's like all the help, like you said, you can call in all that help. You might sort of think, well, why aren't they always there? Why do I have to call them in? You know, why should I should never have any of these horrible feelings, this nasty stuff. But you do have to ask them, don't you?
You have to ask them because you've got free will.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I do think it's part of a lesson.
Yeah.
You come down here, I think probably like wherever you are, in whatever realm you're in, you know, down here in another realm, dimensional, whatever, you always have to have a choice. There is always light and dark, and you are, you know, like we always say, you're a powerful creator. You have so much more power than you realize. Well, you always are going to have to realize that you have the power of choice. That is your power, the power of choice. So if you choose to give your power away and, you know, give it to that kind of the darkness, they can feed off of it, or however, I don't know how it works. I don't like to think too much about the dark side because it's not. I do think there's people here, like here on this planet, that are meant to deal with the dark stuff, and it's like people that are interested in it, who feel drawn to it, and who aren't necessarily scared of it. It's probably the same as how I just explained. They're still going to be. It's still going to be scary for them because you feel that fear viscerally, like it's in your body, but they enjoy doing it. It's like, I don't know, it's just their calling, like whatever it's their calling. I'm very, very well aware that is not why I am here. I don't want to have anything to do with the dark. I acknowledge that it's there. I'm not being ignorant. I would never say everything's all love, light, and I don't believe that. I think there is a balance to everything, and I think that it's there, but I will choose not to focus on it. I'll just choose to focus on the light. For me, that's how it works. Like,
because then I mean, obviously these people that are experts at like dealing with the dark, you know, like those ones you hear, don't you?
Like go and clear houses.
Yes.
And,
they've got the tools to make sure they don't then attach themselves to them. But then you've got those people who are in a dark place, haven't you? In life, in the physical. And then you're going to attract that back. But you can also attract it in the spirit world, can't you? So you can get these entities, which sounds so scary, doesn't it? Like when we went to see Andrea, and you've had it, and I've had it. She could see the entities attached to the aura, I guess, was it? They're, and it makes sense, doesn't it? When you're in a dark place and you just can't get out of it, like. And if other things are attracted to that, that's
like
not going to help.
Like.
Yeah, that's really not going to help you get back on your feet, is it? When you've got other things.
No.
So get your sage out, peeps.
Yeah, sage, selenite.
Selenite, yeah. I haven't got any of that. I need to get some of that.
Yeah, it's just, it's funny, isn't it? Because you like start, when you get into this deeper and deeper, you then have to admit to yourself that there are things that you might not have wanted to admit that are around.
Yeah.
But again, I'm all about just being in control, like not burying your head in the sand like I did for a long time, because that didn't help me, because I spent years being scared. And then all of a sudden I'm awake and aware, and I accept that the things that I didn't want to believe that are real because they scared me are real. You're in control again, and so the fear disappears. You know, and then you can do something about it. And just the fact that you can do something about it, and someone can say to you, no, you don't have to accept that. You don't have to be scared. There are things you can do to stop it and make it go away. Well, that's how I'd rather live.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's how
because then
live.
You can open up to so much more, can't you? That it was the fear that was getting us a lot, wasn't it, in the beginning? And that was a whole process going through, trying to drop the fear. Fear isn't real. That was hard to get my head round. But the more you listen to, the more easier it becomes, doesn't it? And the more it makes sense that, fear is something we actually do to ourselves. False ego appearing real. I like that one.
I know. It's true though, isn't it? It is true. Like fear, we can choose to feel. Well, it's hard to say that we can choose to feel fear. We can, in a lot of ways, we can choose whether we're going to be afraid. You know, because there's some fear that is real. Like if you're standing on the edge of a building and you're just about to fall off, you need to have the fear of like, well, if I fall off, I'm going to die. That's good fear. But then there's other fear that is just completely self-made. Like I'm scared to, I don't know, what's just something like just normal. I'm scared to go
get on a plane.
Get on a plane. I'm scared to go and speak to those people because I'm worried about what they might think of me. That's completely self-imposed fear. And then, you know, you choose to be scared. You can also choose to go, I'm not going to let that scare me. No one's saying it's easy.
No, it sounds easy when you say it like that, doesn't it? But obviously we know that is not easy. That's a whole, and if you've got to be bothered to do the to go through the whole process.
And it is a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is a journey, but it's like, you know, the one that we both always use is when you're feeling anxious, change that to excitement. You know, anxiety, excitement, those two emotions are so similar.
Same feeling.
They feel the same in your body, and you can very easily convince yourself that you feel excited rather than anxious. And it's powerful when you do it, isn't it?
When I heard when I heard that trick, I thought, that's amazing. I'd never actually twigged that it's the exact same feeling when you're nervous as it is when you're for me anyway, in my stomach, the exact same feeling. So the only thing telling me that it's any different is my brain. I mean, amazing.
Just tell yourself a different story
and keep saying it.
That's the key. Consistency.
Even when you don't believe it.
100%.
Because no, I should be nervous. I don't want to go and do this thing that I don't like.
Well, I'm kidding myself. I know I'm not excited. That's stupid. I know I'm not excited. I'm anxious.
You've got to go with it, and you've got to keep on and on and on and on until you create. Well, you're talking to your subconscious, I guess, aren't you? So then they know, when my tummy goes round, we're excited.
Exactly.
We're calm. We're cool. Yeah.
It's you know, you can manipulate your mind. You really can, and it's quite easy in theory. Well, and when you get it as well.
That's right.
When you get it, it is easy.
Yes.
It's not it's hard work getting there, doing the work. You have to do the work. You have to be consistent.
And I couldn't have done it on my own.
No, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
This kind of work is so tough to do on your own.
Why would you? You know,
yeah.
You accept your lot. Well, this is how I'm made.
Mm-hmm.
I get nervous when I do this thing.
Mm-hmm. And you do need to have people encouraging you on. It helps.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I wanted to do what I do for work. I want to be that person that helps people be able to make the changes and keep them committed to it. Because I say that I did it on my own. Okay, I didn't have a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist and, subconscious mind expert. I had to do that part for myself. Yeah. Yes, I had to find out that, research all that. But I still had you.
Yeah.
So, and that is like literally, I know, I've said it before, I would not be where I am today without you. But it's true, isn't it? I wouldn't, because, all the times, God, especially in the beginning, all those times I would have just given up and I would have just thought, no, that's just me thinking that. You helped me question my limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
You would say, no, but Tash, think about it this way.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, yes, that's what I was trying to, I remember now, that's what I was trying to tell myself. You would just push me back on track. Yes. So that I was able, and I was committed. I was committed to doing the work for sure.
Yeah.
But you just kept pushing me back and back. And again, it's another reason why we wanted to do this podcast, isn't it? That's why, because we are so aware that how lucky we are, and so grateful that we had each other to literally be each other's cheerleaders through this journey, because it was tough. And all the spiritual stuff. I hit it first because of Mum. But if I had mentioned the fact, God knows what did I say to you? I don't know. Probably told you one of the signs, Mum. Something that Mum did probably, and you were like interested, and you kind of encouraged it. But if at that point you would shut me down and be like, I don't want to talk about that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here, Beck, because there was no one else that I was talking to about that. Okay, Chris a little bit, because he saw them and couldn't deny them either.
Yeah.
But I wasn't speaking to him about all the other stuff because he wasn't he's not into it like that. And
I clearly loved it.
Yeah.
Jumped onto it because I do. Yeah. I love all that.
And so then how lucky are we that we had this we've gone through this spiritual journey with someone. Yeah. We don't know what it's like to know, but we know that there are so many people out there, probably more than someone who has got someone to go through it with, that are on their own. Yeah. And it's tough, and we just don't want that, do we? That's why.
Because look around you, it's like, I mean, I haven't got I suppose there's a lot of non-believers in my family, or ones that would maybe sort of laugh at you, so if you haven't got a friend to tell, you're not gonna, you want to keep banging on, do you? No. Because you can see, oh God, here she goes again,
and some people just don't want to hear it. No. They say, no, I don't want to talk to you about that. Yeah. And then you just would give up, wouldn't you? You would either give up and not pursue it, and then God, you're missing out on so much. Yeah. Or you do pursue it because you can't ignore it. Yeah. And then you're stuck going through it on your own, and it's lonely and it's tough. And you need people that are like-minded to talk to, and again, that's why we wanted to do the podcast and the Facebook group. Yeah. So that people can come in and talk and feel supported,
and say these little things that have happened to them, are happening to them. Like, guys, get onto this. What do you think about this? This just happened to me. Where you wouldn't say that to anybody else, possibly, that are around you, because they just shut you down. Yeah. Or you feel silly.
We feel silly. Yeah.
Sometimes we do it, don't we, to ourselves? It's not necessarily them.
No.
But we assume that they're gonna say, oh. Yeah. Really?
Yeah. It's embarrassing. Yeah. And it's that. Well, that's the whole thing. We want to stop the embarrassment, don't we? Yeah. We want to talk about it in a normal way. Like, this is just how it is. We're two normal people. So normal. Yeah, and like, oh god, and we haven't even got started yet, have we?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a way of life though, isn't it, really? It's not something you can sum up very quickly.
No, and when you get in this, you're right, it is a way of life, because they could never, it's like, I'm two people. I'm like Tasha before and Tasha after, and they're two very different people.
Yeah.
And I also know that I could never, ever, ever, even if I wanted to, I could never go back to how I was before. You can't unsee the unseen. You can't though, can you?
No,
you can't deny it once you've seen it.
Yeah,
and experienced
started
it,
making it work for you as well. It's like,
that's it, isn't it? Life's so much better when you're in that in the spiritual world, in every way.
And we used to say, didn't we? Like, we don't really say it now because we know it's real. But in the beginning, we were like, well, you know, I don't care if it's real or if it's not. It's helping me.
Exactly.
It's making me feel better.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, it's just a good thing, isn't it?
Exactly. That's it. And like you said, we don't need to say that anymore because now we're like, of course it's real. But yeah, like, why would you call me crazy?
Yeah.
Call me I'm loony. I don't care because I am happier for it. I'm more in control.
I'd rather be here.
Exactly. Any day. Any day. And
Yeah.
that's like, isn't that all we want? We just want to live a life where we can feel like we have some control over it.
Yeah.
I feel like I say control a lot of the time, but
that's what it is.
But it is. It's like, you don't want to feel like everything's just happening to you. And it's a bit of a paradox. Well, as soon as you get into spirituality, everything's paradoxical, isn't it? It is really, it's like, but when you get into spirituality, you gain so much control, but you also learn to completely release control and let go, don't you? Yeah. It's such a paradox. But I just love that. I love that. And God, still learning we had this conversation this morning in the woods, didn't we? Still learning how to surrender and let go.
Yeah.
I mean, some things, like this podcast, for example, complete and total surrender. Other stuff in our lives, there's a little bit of resistance. It's harder to let go of the things that you think you have more of an attachment to. But again, that's all your limiting beliefs and, you know, like how you're attached to these things and the roots behind why you want them.
Exactly.
But yeah, anyway, it's
so the more work you do on yourself, the easier that becomes, like manipulating like the spirit world, if you like, and the manifesting and all of that.
And you know, you know, sometimes it's still hard, isn't it? It's like even everything that I've done and achieved using, you know, all this the spirit world, the unseen world, you still get to a point and you're like, God, I'm stuck. It's so hard. Why can't I know what I have to do? I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But the difference is, whereas before you would just be like, oh, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't. And there's nothing. Why is the world so cruel? Why is this always, this is my life. This is my destiny. I'm just destined to. Now I'm like, right, okay, it's hard, but I know what I got to do. I just got to keep doing it. I got to figure it out. I got help. I'm going to ask. I need to let go. I need to surrender. It's gonna be okay. And also, I always tell myself when I'm having those tough times, I'm just about to level up. Like, this is tough because I'm just about to have another level up.
Good.
So then I'm like, okay, come on, bring it on. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. And every single time, it's come, hasn't it? Because I said to you, I'm like, I done it. So yeah. I know. I think that's our our first bonus episode
cool.
over.
I like that.
I enjoyed that. I think we'd do that.
Because then you can just select.
Yeah.
Oh, that bit sounds like that was fun.
Yeah.
It's just our vibe again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just our energy.
It's the energy. It's the energy. So.
But it's so right about I was just like thinking, you know, like what were you saying? And I was thinking to myself, it's your perspective, isn't it? Well, like how you view the world, you know, you can either look at the light or you look at the dark. You know, everyone's living in the same place, yet we all have such different perspectives, don't we? And like we said, you know, I'd rather have my perspective, thanks, where everything's light and love and here for our highest good and here to help us. you know, because when I think of poor old Nikki, you know, how she's viewing the world at the moment, you know, there's obviously a lot of light about her, but it's very much, no one likes me, I'm weird, people are talking about me. And that's so sad, isn't it? Because you think you could have somebody living the same life, or maybe who actually is weird and being talked about, but they don't live in that reality. They don't even notice.
No. And also, it's not even someone else. Like, at the same time, in the exact same moment that she's thinking, you know, I'm weird, nobody likes me, and she's filtering in all the bad stuff, there's still all this good
All
stuff
that
around
great stuff.
here, all around here, but her filter is just filtering in the negative.
Yeah.
It's just picking out all the negative stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the fundamental issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is where we have to understand that we are in control and we can choose. I always say that, don't I? We have a choice. We always have a choice, and you can choose.
And people don't like that.
No.
Like, she doesn't like it.
No.
And I say, well, you know, you choose what you want to see.
And that's one of the biggest shifts that the spiritual awakening gave me. Because I was that person. I told you, like, when we did the victim mentality thing, I was the biggest victim.
Overthinker.
But if someone had said to me, you have a choice, well, like I said, Chris said to me, didn't it? You have a choice.
The rage.
Shut up. Like, no, I don't. How do I possibly have a choice to not feel sad when something is sad? Or how do I have a choice to not feel angry when something is angry? And so I have so much compassion. When I say you have a choice, I don't say it lightly. No. I have so much compassion for people that are in that way of thinking. But then having the spiritual awakening and being like, I have a choice. You do have a choice. You do. And when you realise that, and me sat here or you sat there saying you have a choice, most of the time it isn't gonna do it for you.
No.
But if you hear it enough, and then you have an experience where maybe what you heard is gonna get triggered in you at one point, and you can be like, do you know what? I'm just gonna let that one go. I'm gonna choose to let that one go. Then when you've experienced it, you're like, I get it. That's what that means. I chose to. I could have been angry. I could have been annoyed that guy cut me off in the traffic, and I could have beeped and I could have let it ruin my whole day. But I let it go.
As we used to.
But I let it go. And actually I feel good.
And you started sending them love. I mean, and you got me doing that now as well. I mean, what a difference.
It's a choice. The same thing's happening. You're just choosing how you react to something. And
you've reminded me of when it all started clicking for me with things like that.
It was that, wasn't it?
With grumps in the woods that we'd meet. And what was I like? I was worse than you.
Oh, yeah.
Fuming all day, plotting what I was going to say to them next time.
Should you meet them again in the future?
I mean, God, can you remember the last time I behaved like that?
No.
In such an inappropriate manner. So childish.
Childish. Go it, Becky.
Oh, I've so grown.
But that's why life's better, isn't it? When you are in control of your own reactions and emotions. And it doesn't mean that everything's light and love and you're just
never annoys you.
No, and it doesn't mean you're walking around peaceful and positive. No, it's just like, okay, I feel angry. Do I want to continue feeling angry? Is that going to make my day any better? No, I'll let it go then.
And it's like when people say, don't they, acknowledge it and let it go. And that's what we do now. We're like, rude. Oh, poor you. See you later. We're off.
Acknowledge it, feel it, then let it go. You've got to let that emotion run through you.
That's a new one you've taught me with how long it takes.
Seconds
that's
to get
right.
Through,
and just sit with it. Because I've noticed, because what you do without realising is you distract yourself, don't you? You have that feeling and you think, oh God, I don't like that. Let's go over here, or let's put the telly on, or let's do something. You totally...
Or your mind will come in and go, no, that wasn't their fault. That's your fault.
That's right.
That's because you said this.
Like, no, that wasn't you. You know, don't think about that. That's fine. Wasn't your fault or whatever. And you're doing it without thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
Oh,
And
no, you
now,
do, yeah.
so now when I feel like, oh, that's made me prickle up or whatever, I sort of like take a breath now and think, well, that's okay. I don't feel, that doesn't feel good, but that's okay. Let's just wait for it to go. Which that's quite cool.
And a way to, I don't know whether maybe you do it because you're quite aware of your body anyway and your feelings, aren't you? But for people that aren't aware of their bodies and more in their heads, when you're trying to acknowledge like that you feel angry and then feel it, the best way to feel it is to get into your body, to come out of your head and into your body. So, you know, anger, when I think about, and I genuinely don't get angry very much.
No,
I'm becoming more aware of my feelings. I've realised that anger is not a feeling, an emotion that I feel an awful lot.
No.
But when I feel anger, it's in my tummy.
Yeah, me too.
It's like twists.
Me too.
Yeah, do you get it there? So when you feel angry, when you
on my face.
Oh, you go red, yeah. Although not so much anymore.
Not so much.
But when, so acknowledge it. Oh, I'm angry. Okay. Then drop into your body. Like, where am I feeling this anger? You know, or whatever emotion it is. Anxiety is in your heart, isn't it? Like resentment, probably around your tummy. I get it around my tummy as well. Feel it in your body. Like, pay attention to what it feels like. Already, you are distracting yourself from all the other thoughts. You know, you are just in your body, feeling the anger.
Yeah.
And whilst you're doing that, it's going to pass through you.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Wait for a couple minutes, and then it's gone. You would be so surprised how quickly an emotion can pass through you, and you can let it go and move on with your day. The problem is that it's actually really, really difficult to break the cycle of stop. Yeah. Like, you know, stopping from going on that automatic cycle. Like, you get angry and then you become defensive, and then you start shouting at someone, or you go quiet, you know, however you react in your circumstances, you got to catch it. As soon as you feel an emotion that doesn't feel nice, that doesn't feel good, pay attention. What am I feeling? Get into your body and do that. But again, it takes practice. And a lot of people that I find, you know, when I'm working with them and we're trying to do this, they get angry at themselves. They're like, I've reacted in that way again. And I'm like, what do you expect? You've been doing this for like 30 years. You've been practicing this behavior for 30 years. You cannot expect to all of a sudden just go, now I can break that cycle and change it. No, this is where it takes work. You have to be consistent. You have to be on it. You have to be very, very self-aware, which is again where it comes into, it's really, really helpful when you have a friend or when you have someone to talk to about these things, to keep reminding you about it, and also to keep saying, keep going, you're doing good, because it takes a while, and it gets the more you do it, the easier it gets as well. But there is a period of time where you will feel like you're not changing, and you're like, I let myself down, or I'm slipping back. It's not about that. It is just about, you know, when we're babies, you don't just stand up and start walking. No. You stand up and then they fall down. Yeah. And then they take one step and then they fall down. And then they can take 2 steps and fall down. They don't care. They don't think, I fell over. I'm not going to practice that again. I'm not going to do that again. I just won't walk. Yeah. No, they don't care. They just keep practicing and practicing. That's what you've got to do. Yeah. No different. Different. Keep practicing.
Why do we get to that age where that stops? You know? Because like you say, as babies, if that were the case, we wouldn't walk, we wouldn't talk, we wouldn't read.
No. Exactly.
All those things.
We just think back to being a baby.
Carry on being a baby.
Just practice. Practice. There is no failure. Babies don't think that they failed.
No.
There's no failure to a baby.
They just know they want to walk and they won't stop till they do.
And that is why you can do anything you want to do. Yeah. You can literally do anything you want to do. If you wanted to be a physicist, an astrophysicist, astronaut, you could do that if you wanted to. Yeah. If you wanted to.
Yes. That's the key.
When we're babies, we want to move. We want to walk because it gives us the freedom. We just want. There is no difference. You can do anything you want to do, but this is where it becomes so important that you have to work out what really it is that you truly want.
That's the hard thing, isn't it?
Because if you think you want something, you know, and you're then striving to kind of make things happen and make things change, you have to think, if you don't really truly want that, you're not going to do it. No. Because your subconscious mind is going to go, like, I don't want to do it. It's not in it for me. When you truly want something, you will do it. And I bet you all know that as well. I bet everybody can think of one thing where they thought, I knew I wanted to do that. And there was not a part of me that thought that I'm not going to do it.
No.
And I bet you did it.
Yes.
That's the only difference.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The hard thing is the big things sometimes in life, isn't it? Is knowing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But once you've got that,
yeah,
that's the hard bit.
Yeah. And the way you do that is you just follow the fun.
Yes.
That's my motto, isn't it? But you do follow what lights you up.
Yeah.
We all think that life has to be hard. You know, there's no time for fun.
Oh,
and there's
work your fingers to
exactly.
the bone.
As much as you can in everyday life, just follow what lights you up.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a minute spare on a weekend, and you think, what do I want to do? Not what have I got to do? Like, yeah, of course you've got washing to do.
Yeah.
You've got ironing, you've got to put stuff away, and you've got to take the kids to clubs, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. That's all the stuff that you feel like you have to do.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
When I started asking myself that, right back in the early days, and I was trying to practice self-care and self-love and all of that, that's what I did. I asked myself, what do I want to do? And all of a sudden, I discovered things about myself. Well, cool, I should say I rediscovered things, because it's always things that you used to love doing as a child.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because I'm like, all the way through our journey, like we've always been the same distance apart. You do it first, but eventually I'm like where you were a year ago. So you went horse riding.
Yeah.
I'm going bloody tap dancing.
Yeah,
exactly. I hadn't even twigged what I was doing there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now on that bit of your journey.
Yes.
I'm now on.
Yes.
And what was that, a year ago?
Yeah.
Is that only a year?
No, maybe a little bit more. No, a bit more
than
than a year, because I think I did it for about a year. So,
yeah.
So yeah. A year and a half.
Funny, isn't it? How we then get drawn back to what we used to love.
Yeah. Because when you're a kid, it goes back to what we were saying in the other episode. When you're a child, you're closer to the unseen world. You're closer to your soul and listening to your soul's desires. So as a child, you're just carefree for the most part. I know some children have tough lives, and then it's harder for them to be carefree. But for the most part, kids are carefree, and they will just do what they want to do. Yeah. So typically, what you did as a child, you're going to get joy from as an adult. Yeah. And when you ask yourself that, what do I want to do? What will be fun? And follow that fun. You'll open up you'll unlock a whole new area of yourself. It's really healing, and it plays a massive part towards self-love and self-worth.
And something always comes of these things, you notice, doesn't it? Something always happens. You meet someone, you discover something always comes from these things that we put ourselves out there to do again, for ourselves. And you think, if you hadn't gone horse riding, I wouldn't have met that person or done that, and I was definitely meant to meet them. And there's always some even more magical stuff behind it, isn't there? Plus, you're getting the fun back.
Yeah, that's it.
But you just concentrate on that. Everything else.
That really taught me. I mean, I love that for so many reasons, and I obviously only stopped really because I got busier with work, and then it wasn't available to me, and I couldn't do it anymore. But I will always remember how much that helped me. And again, we learn from past experiences. Just as I always talk about, we learn from the bad past experiences. Guess what? We also learn from the great past experiences as well. So I've got that in my memory bank now, in my subconscious, that, when I do something that lights me up, good things happen. Like, it opens me up. And so I'll be more likely to do that again. And this is how it's like everything just starts shifting, doesn't it? And just follow the fun, follow what lights you up, because magical things will come from it. And it's okay to do that. I feel like every adult needs to be told it's okay to have fun. It's okay to, really question, what do I have to do? Or what do I feel like I have to do? What pressure am I putting on myself? There's a big difference there of what you actually have to do. Yes, you have to pay the bills. Okay, fine. Yeah. You have to do that washing today. Can you do it in 2 hours?
Exactly.
It's all about priorities. Exactly. And honestly, there's a massive way of building up your self-worth and self-esteem. And when you build up your self-worth and self-esteem, everything opens up to you.
Yeah.
It's like the most important thing you can do is build up your self-worth and your self-love, and with that comes your self-esteem, and everything else comes along with it.
True.
But that's where I started. That is where I started, and that's where everything changed for me. Everything, in every single area. So gosh,
I've seen it. I think you've got so much material there to cover everything. It's like,
I think.
Oh, look, the sun's
And then
come
the
out.
sun's come out for us.
Our blue sky's back.
Oh.
Mr. Blue Sky.
It's for another day, and you're wearing blue as well. Right, so we sign off.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we hope you enjoyed our first ever bonus episode.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll keep this going because it's a bit all over the place, but not really. It's just like an extra little lead on from the episode before, I suppose. That's what it is.
I loved it.
I like it.
And then you can just pick.
Yeah.
What's relevant?
Yeah. Right.
Ladies.
Ciao.